In our first Humanity at its Best series, we start with a young man, Petr Ludwig, from Prague, Czechoslovakia. And he shows how one person with vision, questioning, and perseverance can create a brand new initiative to save hundreds of thousands, indeed millions of lives. In Masks for All, Peter's going to share with us why he started this idea, how he spread it in a good way, how Czechoslovakia's leadership stepped up and asked all its citizens to wear masks, then followed by other countries such as Israel and Brazil. Ultimately, this one singular person, being incredibly observant, will help save countless lives.
Hi, my name is Peter, and I live like 50% in New York and 50% in Prague. And I had a flight from New York to Prague to Europe, and I was the only one on board that had a face mask. And it was just the day after Donald Trump said that they are going to cancel all flights from Europe to the US. So basically, that was one of the last flights. And when I arrived to Prague, I realized that almost no one outside on the streets wear face masks. So I started to read research on that. I started to make a summary about what science knows about face masks and how they are effective. And I realized that there is a lot of more than 30 scientific studies that masks actually can really help to suppress the spread of the virus. So I made a first video. It was in Czech language, and it went viral here in this country. And I asked some influencers to share their picture with a face mask. And after just 3 days, from almost no one wearing a mask, we hit a tipping point. And after 3 days, more than 95% of people wear face masks outside. And I sent a video to Mayor of Prague, and he made masks mandatory in Prague mass transport system. So that was the turning point, because the next day, the central government made masks mandatory for all inhabitants. And what we see now that it really works. It really works. We have one of the best data from all European countries, so we are not growing exponentially. We have just 50 deaths in the whole history of the outbreak. So it seems that masks can really prevent the spread of the virus. Masks are not that good in your protection, but they are perfect because they can stop the spread of the virus from you to others. Basically, many percent of cases are without symptoms. So you are transforming the virus. You are contagious, but you don't know about that. So, and if you wear a face mask, it can stop like 95 to 100% of droplets, micro droplets that you expose when you breathe, when you cough. So this is really important protective equipment against the spread of the virus. And now there are many scientific studies. We did some studies even here in top 2 technical universities. So we know that it works. There are many scientific studies, and there is no reason not to deploy the same strategy that worked here in this country, in Czech Republic, and to deploy this strategy all around the world. So that's why I made a second video in English with my friend. She's actress and she lived in LA. So we made a video about masks. We asked some top professors from top universities here, and in 3 minutes, we try to explain the whole idea, masks for all, like really to change the world with this message. And now we know that it worked. For example, Israel made masks mandatory 3 days ago. There are many other countries from Africa, and in Brazil, they made masks mandatory. So it seems that there's some logic behind it, and even WHO changed its opinion, and CDC changed its opinion 3 days ago. So what we see is that what worked here now, it's a global movement. So for me, it's amazing. It's the most important thing that I was ever working on.
It's amazing, and you say in that wonderful video that I protect you and you protect me.
Right, because if you meet someone with a face mask and you have a face mask, you both protecting yourself. So it's a selfless reason to wear mask, not just a selfish, but there is a selfless reason. So, and if you both wear a mask, you are both protected. So that's why it's so important to deploy the movement and to ask people to wear face masks, because we should have more than 80% of people wearing face masks. If it's only few of them, it doesn't work, because then it's not protective at all. But if most people wear face masks, then you can stop the virus in just a few weeks, because there is no way how to transfer the virus to others. So, and if you see the data, and many countries are still growing exponentially, we have to act really quickly in that. We don't have a time for that. So every hour counts.
Every hour counts. Every minute counts.
Right.
So I guess in this country, what we would wish is that President Trump would do his next press conference wearing a mask, and that he would be a great leader in doing that.
That was a turning point here, because our president and our prime minister, they both started to wear a face mask in TV, in television, in all conferences. Actually, our prime minister, he tweeted directly to Donald Trump, and he sent him the video. We know that. So, and I think that we have evidence that mayor of LA, he mentioned the video in a daily briefing. So we know that the video is already in the US, but what we need now, I think that if some influencers are listening to our interview, I ask them to be a good example for their followers. So please take your picture with a face mask and inspire others. Share the picture with the hashtag masks for all. And this was the turning point here. Our government was also very slow in that. Yeah, and there were no masks outside in stores. So what we made was a movement based on normal people and based on influencers. And basically, the government was the last part that did a rule. So it was in the moment when everyone was wearing a face mask, then the government made them mandatory. But the first part of the movement were influencers, because in the beginning, people were laughing to those with face masks. But if you see your favorite actress or favorite singer wearing a face mask, then you realize that it's normal. So I ask if some influencers are listening to us, please do that. Share your picture and with the face mask.
Well, Peter, I'm thrilled that we connected. What you're doing is so critical for the world. What do you do when you're not creating brilliant ideas like masks for all?
I'm actually a keynote speaker and writer. I wrote a best-selling book, The End of Procrastination. So, and I'm working on a new book about purpose at work. So, basically, it really resonates with this situation. The importance is the importance to have a strong sense of purpose in life. So, and there is a lot of scientific studies that the more purpose you have a lower risk of depression, you are more fulfilled, and so on. So, strong sense of purpose is my key topic now. So, I do a lot of keynotes, a lot of talks about importance of purpose in life. I think that the key message now is to really be responsible and to really act quickly. So wear face masks, wash your hands, stay at home, and if we'll be lucky, we can survive that in just few weeks. So.
My name's Tom Kwiatek. I work for the city of Delray Beach in their Parks and Recreation Department. Last Wednesday, April 1st, and then we're doing it for 3 other consecutive Wednesdays. We're handing out food to the community in Delray through an organization called Feeding South Florida. People can get in line in their vehicles, and they can let us know how many families need to be fed, and then they get in line, and we give out food to the families, help support everyone during this time.
How are you protecting yourselves from the virus? Because I know that I heard that there were hundreds and hundreds of people that responded.
Yeah, we did about 590 cars that first Wednesday, and some of them had multiple. We put in food for multiple families, and one in each vehicle. So the vehicles pull up. They have their trunk open or a side door. They're not allowed to open their window. And then the volunteers, a lot of it was a Parks and Recreation. Probably 95% of it was Parks and Recreation staff. We're there. We have gloves on. Some of it had masks on, things of that nature. So you don't really come in contact with anybody, but you just put all the items in their trunk of the car, and they go through different stations, and then they had to fill out some information for the organization, right, for their tracking purposes, and then they just pull off. So.
And how many volunteers did you have?
We probably had close to 20 that day, I would imagine. Like 95% of it was our Parks and Recreation staff from Delray.
I mean, that was just a tremendous amount of caring and really helping out. How do people feel about doing it?
I mean, obviously, it's as working for a municipality like I do, and all my other coworkers do. Something that we do daily. We give back to the community and work for the community. We do it every day. So, I mean, but obviously there's tough times we've done in the past. Several years ago, we had all the hurricanes. We gave out, through FEMA, ice and water and all that stuff. Kind of part of our responsibilities as city employees.
And do you think that in talking to the volunteers, and obviously some of them are your employees, that they're going to do more of this ongoing after the pandemic recedes?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're scheduled to do it again this coming Wednesday, and then I'm not sure if they have different sites all throughout Palm Beach County, Broward, and Dade. On their website, they have a list of sites where people can go on there and look and see where they're handing out good food and things of that nature. So we're reaching out and servicing a lot of people, not just in Delray, throughout Palm Beach County and all of South Florida that a really difficult time. So I think we're all trying to do our part and do what best we can.
Humanity at its Best will also cover stories of great outcomes during the pandemic. I'd like to share one from The Observer, which is an Oregon paper. It's about a gentleman, Bill Lapshes, who at 103 contracted the coronavirus. The outcome was very positive. Bill Lapshe's granddaughter, Julia Yutzi, said he has a contagious smile tucked behind his pale blue surgical mask. On Wednesday last week, Lapshe's family carried balloons, cake, and signs outside the Edward C. Allworth Veterans Home in Lebanon, Oregon, to celebrate his 104th birthday. With everyone spaced out 6 feet to maintain social distancing, staff wheeled Bill out of the home and onto a small patio surrounded by balloons. Lapshe's 100th birthday had over 200 people in attendance, so Wednesday's affair was a little small by comparison. But these festivities are special for another reason. With just over 25 days since his first symptoms and 19 days since he had a fever, Bill is believed to be the world's oldest coronavirus survivor. Sitting in a wheelchair under an awning as rain came down upon him, his legs wrapped in a blanket adorned in American flags, and wearing a World War II veteran hat. His granddaughter said how Bill managed to survive his bout of coronavirus. With a hearty laugh, Bill said, "I don't know." He paused for a moment and then he added, "It just went away. Sit out here and you can get rid of anything," he said. Bill was born in Salem, Oregon in 1916 and lived through the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic that killed between 50 to 100 million people worldwide. He also endured the Great Depression, and he also served in World War II, where he was stationed in the Aleutian Islands, where he dispatched trucks and heavy equipment. His daughter, Carol Lee Brown, said her father really only ever talked about one part of the war, the end. That's why he really has an optimistic point of view in life. Coming home, being back with his wife and two girls, his daughter said, there was not that much going on then, just getting back to life, something that we all want to do. Globally, Bill has company as a senior survivor of COVID-19. A 103-year-old grandmother in Wuhan, China, was released from the hospital in early March after recovering. There's also a 101-year-old Italian man, known only as Mr. P, who recently released from a hospital in Rimini, Italy, after overcoming the illness. It seems there's a scene here. There's a scene here of personal perseverance, resilience, and just being good people. So I share this story with you, my listeners, because we're all in this together. Social distance, wash your hands frequently, reach out to loved ones, and wear a mask. There's a lot of asymptomatic people out there, and we just need to bend the curve and break it. I'm Carol Cohn, and this is Humanity at its Best.